We'll be interviewing Norma Alvarez, the owner and operator of Lazy A Farms. So Norma, what was your involvement in the horse industry?
I grew up with horses, basically since I was about 9 years old, and I'd always loved them. So as I got older, I wanted to, I started riding, and I wanted to do something, that I could make a living at. And I had to look at the different aspects. You look at showing and maybe barrel racing, because I used to gymkhana.
Mm-hmm.
And I always loved the racing part of it. And as I started studying it, I realized that you can make a living doing market breeding. So that's what we started doing.
Okay. And why did you pursue this industry?
Because I wanted to try to make a living, doing the horses.
Okay.
Doing something with the horses.
Where do you see the racehorse breeding industry heading in the future?
I think it's going to be there. It's taken some hits here lately, but I think everybody's trying to clean up the industry, and everybody's very committed. There's just a few bad apples, and it's very unfortunate, but it's like that in every sport.
Mm-hmm.
So you just got to continue the fight, trying to get the people out that don't need to be in.
Yeah.
And, I think that there will be, there's this love for the sport, and it's deep, and I think it will continue.
Okay. What are your goals for your business?
My goal is to stay above water. Keep your head above water, and just being able to do it and keep going. So that's my goal.
Good. What difficulties have you had in pursuing this business?
I think startup. When you first start up, you're learning, all kinds of things. You have to study, and know the market, come up with a business plan. And I think that was the hardest thing. And then the other hard parts is, when you lose, the, horse that you love, and, the babies, and that's the hardest part.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What tips would you give someone entering this type of industry?
Study the industry. And as I mentioned before, you need to really study. I studied sales. I still do, and I keep up with trends, and you just try to just get all the information you can and read everything you can about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's probably what I would recommend.
Okay. What do you find the most rewarding part of your business?
What I love the most is I love the sales prep part, and I like to get these yearlings, and they kind of come off the field and they look real scraggly, and they look like like a cactus. And then you work on them and groom them and exercise them and go through the whole deal for about 4 months, and you turn them into these beautiful flowers.
Yeah.
Just gorgeous, and that's the part I like about it.
Okay. How did you start this business?
I started really small, and I started with my own, because I think that's how you kind of have to. People are going to look. You have to build a reputation in this business. It's very important. So I started with my own, and I worked up until people saw that I was doing okay, and then they started, coming to me, and I gained some clients.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you get the clients into your barn? Do you advertise, or do they just come to you?
No, I don't advertise because I'm very limited.
Mm-hmm.
If I wanted to build a business, a bigger business, I could advertise.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a certain small facility, and I also think that what makes my business special is that I get hands-on.
Mm-hmm.
I get to see the horses every day. I know exactly what's going on. I think if you get too big, sometimes you have to really have key personnel, and you lose a little bit of that. So there's something, to be said for being a little bit smaller. So word of mouth is how I get my clients.
Okay.
They typically come every year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do most of your funds come from your clients, or from selling horses at the sale?
Most of them from the sales of the horses. And the other reason that I have clients too, it helps pay the overhead,
Mm-hmm.
but most of the funds come from the sales of our own horses.
Okay. And then does raising your own alfalfa reduce the cost of running your breeding business?
Yes, my husband wouldn't like that, but yes. It does. There's an advantage. And then, we have the blessing of having these alfalfa fields, and we graze them year round. And I think that natural approach, keeps them healthier and less stress, and we have less labor because they're not inside. We don't have to clean pens or feed them. They're just grazing on the fields, and I give them good minerals and water, and that's how we operate.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time, Norma.
Oh, you're welcome.